All right. Home Squad Sports. We got Week 7 coming up. Got a full preview here. Doing our top 6 games and going to go over some conference stuff as well. And got a big announcement as well at the end. So definitely want to go over everything here and we'll go ahead and get started. Dalton, can you hear me good?
Yeah, man, y'all hear me?
Yeah, we're good. We're good to go. Okay, all right. So go ahead and get into it. Like I said, top 6 games. Was able to get a list of top 6 matchups we got. It's a lot better week than last week. It looks like. I mean, just from the start, obviously Dalton here, he got his homer Florida Gators on here, able to make an appearance, and looks like I think they're gonna have a big game. But we'll go ahead and start from the top. I'll do a quick rundown, then we'll get what you're thinking, Jen. So.
I can wait. I
Um,
can wait.
yeah. Okay. So first, we'll go ahead and Oklahoma, Texas. So they're squaring off their Red River rivalry. It's already been a storied, rivalry forever. Oklahoma's obviously been more relevant these last few years with all their good quarterbacks that's came through. So it's going to be a good game. Obviously, in history has shown it's been a shootout. High scoring affair. I don't know. Maybe this year it'll be like that. But what do you think about this one? Do you think it's going to be a high scoring game?
Um, you know, I I don't actually love this game this year. We had to put it on there because of the Red River rivalry. It's like leaving off Alabama and Auburn or something like that. You can't leave it off the top six. It doesn't matter. But I think Texas wins about. I don't know. We're not predicting it yet, but I don't like Oklahoma, man. They got a freshman quarterback playing now. You seen they benched the starter Jackson Arnold.
Yep.
I know the bye week might help a lot with that, but I don't know how much it's going to help against one of the best teams in the country. Um, I hope Oklahoma can play good, man. I like their run game. They have a lot of good receivers and they have a good defense this year. But Ewers back. Maybe he's a little bit rusty. Maybe he's a bit rusty. What do you think about Ewers coming back? How do you think about him?
I mean, I think in his head, I think he's on a vengeance trying to get into Heisman consideration, trying to get Cam Ward. I don't think he's going to catch him. I don't think they're going to let him catch him, no matter what he does. But like you said, like OU switching quarterbacks there at bye week, that's a good week if you're going to do it. Switch it bye week, but you're supposed to be a well, you're supposed to be well-oiled machine going into the bye week. You're supposed to be maybe inserting a couple stuff, installing a couple stuff here or there, maybe like a trick play or something you've been wanting to try, but they're looking like they're having to do a whole lot of new stuff, insert and install in with their new quarterback, and that takes time. So the bye week probably has not gone as normal as usual. So with you saying that, Quinn Ewers coming out rusty, that's possible. I could see that definitely happening. The scoreboard, I don't know what it'll reflect if it'll. I think it'll be one of those high yardage, low scoring games where both teams have
Okay.
a lot of yards, and just for some reason they're not converting on third down, penalties, or a turnover. I think we'll see one of those.
Okay. Well, man, I just don't. Oklahoma's quarterback. It seems like he is the new guy. That he's a freshman. It seems like he's just run first. So Um, I don't know if he's going to be able to throw the ball. When I watched him against Tennessee, their offense was just him dropping back and then running if the first guy wasn't open. I know that was his first week, so maybe he'll be improved, but I need to see him throw the ball a little bit more before I can believe in this Oklahoma team. And they just haven't been good on offense since Lincoln and Riley left and Venables took over, really. They've just been, not Oklahoma. They're supposed to be on offense. And then you got to get that going this week if they want to win, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a challenge for them. They both got their unique challenges coming into the game. They're both, having to switch up what they've been doing the last couple weeks, and just for different reasons. So, one's got their star quarterback coming back, and one's trying to find their guy. So,
Now,
but
hold on. Now, let me. I think I say something about that. Their star quarterback coming back for a star quarterback already. They're
yeah,
benching a star quarterback for a
soon
star
to be
quarterback.
star, soon to be star. He's not a star yet. He will be a star.
Well, in
Arch
his
Manning
small
will be a
sample
star.
size, in his small sample
Yeah,
size.
right. So far, he has been a star in his role so
That's all I
far.
mean. That's all I mean. So I'm just imagine what happens if Texas goes in here and loses and Ewers plays bad. All the talk is going to be next week about. Are you sure he's be starting over Arch?
I know. I
So
know.
that's the only thing I would like about Oklahoma win is just all the drama that would come out of it. That would
Yeah.
be, I think, it would be some fun. A week of listening to Texas fans talk.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like you said, the media is waiting for them to slip up to have something, a new drama, a new storyline to talk about, and they'll talk about that until some turmoil happens. But all right, so with that being said, they both got their challenges coming in. Who you got at the game? He thinks going to come out with the dub?
Yeah, I'm going Texas for sure. Like I said, I hope it's close, man, but I don't think it will be. This might be one of the biggest blowouts in the past 10, 15 years of the Red River rivalry. I hope I'm wrong, though, because I love a good football game, and I even like when I'm wrong, man. I don't care. If I'm wrong, that means the game went the way I didn't expect it to, that means I'm excited. And so yeah, I hope Oklahoma can keep it close and shit. I hope they come out with the win and make the college football playoff picture even more jumbled.
Hell yeah. I mean, I agree. I agree. I mean, you got to think this is probably what one of the worst OU teams it's had in 5 years, and this is probably the best Texas team we've seen in,
Worst OU team. I mean, honestly, dude, since we've been watching football,
yeah.
they've
Okay.
been good forever.
I'm trying to think now. They had some pretty boring quarterbacks back in the day before they had Sam Bradford.
After
Yeah.
Jason White, okay, but after Jason White before Bradford, like that's those 4 years. Yeah, I don't even
Yeah.
remember who it was. You're right. 04 to 06. Yeah,
Yeah.
but besides those 3 years, I mean, I just don't like this. This team just don't have the it factor for me at
They
all. They
don't.
don't have the NFL talent on offense that they usually have.
No, no. When you go from these past few quarterbacks, like you said, Baker, Hurts, and then Kyler, I mean, it's hard to keep the ball rolling, and I don't know. Transfer portal opened up. You think they would just be able to run it back, how they normally do it,
Caleb
with
Williams played
NIL.
freshman year there,
And
right?
Caleb Williams was there, yeah. So I mean, yeah, they've had a crazy lineage. But with that being said, I agree with you definitely. I think Texas is going to show why they're the number one team in the nation. I don't think they're going to slip up like Alabama did, being number one like last week. So I'll take Texas on that one. Then we'll move on from that one. Here we'll go from Penn State to USC. A lot of people think this Penn State team is due for the loss. This is Franklin's time of year where he loses a game he's not supposed to. I think the travel might come into play here with them going all the way to Cali. And, I think with these new conferences with Stanford in the ACC, Oregon, and USC in the Big Ten, that's going to cause a lot of teams issues with traveling, I think, because jet lag's a real thing. Is you're a person who travels a lot, so
Yeah, you're right, man.
as much as anyone, the jet lag affects you coming to and from.
Absolutely. I was talking about that, last week when USC traveled to Minnesota. Yeah, you're right. These new destinations that you're not used to traveling to and playing 3 hours after you're posting, usually playing. It's a big difference for these kids, man, and they're not used to the travel. But I'm excited for this game. I can't imagine this game not coming down to the last drive. Like in
Yeah.
my head, just can't. So I'm excited for this one.
I think these teams are in two kind of spots. Penn State's trying to keep the great season, the best season they've had in recent memory, going. They're trying to stay unbeaten, and then you got USC just trying to get back on track. So they both have pressure for different reasons. With that being said, I think they are looking to come back for a big win there. SC is, I think the Trojans will win. I don't think, like you said, it won't be by a landslide. I think it'll be really close. But this is the time of year where Penn State loses. Everybody knows they're going to lose. They're going to slip up. If it's people are like, oh, we're used to them slipping up against a Michigan State, Ohio State,
Wow.
or an Iowa. Well, because those are conference games. Well, even though this is USC and it doesn't look like it, it's a conference
Conference,
game.
conference
It is a
game.
conference game, and this is where they mess up. So I think they'll mess up, and I
You
got
know,
SC.
I was hoping you would pick the opposite side just to make it more entertaining for us because I was picking USC all the way all week, man. I just don't. After watching last week, all these top 25 teams lose on the road. I just if a game is even close right now, I'm leaning towards the home team.
Yeah,
That's just how it is right now. After college football, the home field advantage is huge, and a lot of matchups. It depends on your home court. It depends on your crowd, of course, but 9 times out of 10, well, shit, so the crowd don't even matter sometimes. It's about travel too with these kids, man. Um, Miller Moss though in this offense, Penn State hasn't played an offense this caliber yet. They played a lot of bad offenses so far. West Virginia first week of the year though, West Virginia wasn't all the way there, and they had that whole delay, lightning. They couldn't even forget that game. So this is really their first real offense. USC, they're going to pass the ball down the field. I looked for them to rebound last week because they didn't play good offense last week against Minnesota. I think they're going to really play good offense this week, and I'm taking them too, man. Penn State, I just don't love their quarterback, man. It's all about he's all talent, man, talent. But
he's not good.
why don't you produce instead of showing me talent? Talk about this damn talent all the time.
He's not good, man. He's
Exactly,
not good.
produce on the field. Miller Moss produces on the field.
Yep, exactly. I like that pick too. So I got USC. So all right, so that takes us. We got first two. We got Texas, USC, two big squads that are leading up into the big SEC showdown. Your Florida Gators, beloved Florida Gators, against your Tennessee Vols, your brother-in-law's favorite team, Veach. Shout out Veach. I know
What a week.
there's bragging rights on the line the whole year for this game right here for you every year. But I mean, this is a big one because it's got implications on the coach. It's got implications on who's going to maybe into the transfer portal. I would say this just real quick. I really do think you're lucky. Just you're lucky, I think, that this game wasn't last week when the players had another week to hop in the portal. Because let's say hypothetically you all go and get ran, which I don't think is going to happen, but if it could, and if it did, I think you'd have saw players hop in the portal if this was last week. But
That's fair.
yeah, yeah. I mean, is Nico going to run out of bounds? Trying to make a game-winning play again with you all. I mean, I guess you all are you still running the two quarterbacks every now and then with Mertz and Lagway?
It's mostly merch now, just because I mean, I don't care what anybody says about him. If you watch a damn full game, he is really accurate with the football. He doesn't make mistakes, and he gives our team a chance to win. If we lose, it's mostly usually on the defense or somebody
Mhm.
fumbles or something like that. Man, the whole time Mertz has been the starter, I've actually loved him. He's one of our best starters. This is embarrassing to say. Let me say that first off, but he's one of our best starters since Tebow, which is sad but true.
You know, I
If he had a
would
defense like
I
with Muschamp,
I like Trask more. I like Trask
oh
more.
well, yeah, I said one of. I said one of.
Okay.
He's not the best. Anthony Richardson was.
Yeah.
He might be better. No, he's
Uh,
better than AR in college.
yes, he is in college.
Right, right. In college, he's better. We're not talking about NFL talent, but no, Lagway might get one or two drives now. We'll see how this game goes. As a freshman going into Knoxville, as much as I would love to see him play, it might not be the smart thing to do.
Okay, I think this game comes at a big price just with UF here on next year with the quarterback. If let's say I just want to force because this is the first time the Gators have been on our top six all year, which is it's cool to see them on here. I mean they're back in discussion. I mean if they keep winning, then Napier might save his job. I said when your camera was kind of messing up last stream, I'm like Napier if he buys him some time, if he keeps on buying time and just pushing the can down the road, it's the worst thing for y'all.
It is
But
bad.
I will. I want to. If you all don't use Lagway at least a little more, or just continue to lose and still not use them, here's what I think.
He transfers. He's what you're gonna say.
He's out of there. I think he's out of there. If you don't, I don't know what you do to show him instead of promise him you're the guy next year, but I don't see how you keep. I don't see how you keep him. But we'll talk. That's another discussion down the road. But as for the game itself, like I mean, they're really heavily favored in this one. Tennessee is. It was 15 point, right? Did you say it was 15 points?
Yeah, and I texted you and I said, and this is just me being honest, non-homer opinion. If I wasn't even a Florida fan, after watching Tennessee last week, that is insane.
I agree. I
For a
agree.
rivalry game,
I agree. I
they
agree.
looked bad
I
last
think
week.
with
Nico looked like a freshman, and he's not.
Nico didn't look like an $8 million, $6 million quarterback, like however much he was supposed to
Well,
get when he
they
coming in.
compare that man to Tua and college version. Tua
Yeah.
college was amazing. He ain't great now. It's a different discussion. But Tua college, that's who he compared him to. Come on, man. Way too soon
No.
for that. This guy's got to win some damn big games first.
Yeah, if he comes in for his team and wins him a natty, then I'll call him Tua, I guess, in college. But I didn't
Right,
even
Tua
like.
did that. Right,
I
yeah.
always thought Jalen Hurts was better than Tua in
Well, that's
college, but
fair. That's
Tua
fair.
is still better than Nico right now.
Right,
So
right. That's what I'm saying.
right, I agree. So okay, so 15 point underdog. I agree. That's way too much. And with Florida fans, they travel well. It's SEC ball. They're going to travel. So give me Florida covering. But on the game itself, do you have them winning? Do you have them going on the upset? What do you think?
I mean, I'm gonna have to eat my words if we lose. So, it ain't like I can hide behind a screen or nothing. We're live, and this is gonna be on the internet. So, this is where my homer does come out right here. I can't go against when we play Tennessee. We beat them every damn time, dude.
Hey, I like you admitting it though.
Since I've been alive, we've won like 17 out of 20 or some crazy shit, bro. I seen a stat earlier where it said like a 68-year-old seen Tennessee beat Florida like 10 times, and like a 17-year-old seen Florida beat Tennessee 10 times, bro. Like we aren't built the same, bro. Even when we're down, Tennessee can't hang with us, bro.
I
Like,
agree. I
but
agree.
that being said, yeah, it would be upset if we won. I can see why people are picking against us. Tennessee looked great up until last week, and people still don't believe in us. I mean, yeah, we didn't beat nobody good. We beat Mississippi State and then Central Florida, who also got beat by Colorado, just like
Exactly.
they beat them like we did,
Yeah.
handedly. So Central Florida might have just been overrated. So we can't look too much into that. But I just don't see the Nico, fuck the it factor, man.
No, I don't see it either. I'm wait. It's like every time you watch him, you're just waiting. Like, okay, he's probably gonna make a crazy play this next play, and it never
Yeah.
happens.
Exactly. I was watching the end of the Arkansas game. I was like, no way they lose. Like, I'm for real. I hate Tennessee to death. And I was like, they're going to win. Nico, this is going to be Nico's coming out party. This is going to show everybody why he was so fucking hyped by everybody in the
Hmm.
media and around the country. And he's going to lead their team to a game winning drive. And instead, he runs out of bounds. Like James,
Yeah.
a la James Quick. Everybody can remember that
God.
against Clemson. I hope our
God.
fans can remember that, but we do because it's a hometown kid and a hometown school. But that's what it looked like. I mean, you can't even throw the ball in the air, give your team a shot.
You got to at
No,
least give him a shot. You
you
got to
run
at
out of
least give him
bounds.
a
I don't
shot.
care if you throw it up in the triple coverage, whatever, but you can't run out of bounds there. Like that is a really bad mistake to make.
Only reason I think they win is because Hupel, Josh, their coach. I like him. He is a good coach.
He's a good coach. I can't hate
But
on him.
he's gonna probably they're going to be a 15-point favorite, but they're not. They're going to play like a 15-point underdog. They're going to chew the clock. I think they're not going to try anything big. I don't think they're going to go for any big plays because they know they're a couple slip ups away just from losing to Florida. And then as soon as they get up, Florida gets up, they're going to start using the clock. And then Tennessee doesn't have that firepower to go and get you 10 points real quick in the quarter at the end. So with that being said, I mean we're 3 for 3 on agreeing. I like the Gators
You like
money
us
line.
winning?
Give me the Gators winning by a hair, just because. In more of a fact, I think Nico's going to lose this game,
I
and
agree
y'all
with
are
you.
going
I'm
to
not
win it.
saying we're amazing still.
Yeah,
Have you? Okay, let me just say something real quick before we move on to the next game. If we don't, if we got Tennessee this week and then Kentucky. If we don't win at least one of these, we probably won't win another game in the rest of the year because it goes well. Besides Florida State last week, but after Kentucky, we got Georgia, Texas, LSU, and Ole Miss. I mean, that's four top 13 teams in a row. I mean, that's just a dog gauntlet for any team, and we're not great this year. So I really hope we can get this one, man. Let me just say that.
I think depending, just looking on forward, because like you said, you have LSU and Ole Miss coming up. I think looking forward, we're really going to see what LSU's made of this week, but we'll get to that in a minute. But okay, so we got for left half here, first half done. We got Texas, USC, Florida on the picks. That would probably give you some great money there if you're a betting person on the parlay. So
Yeah, USC,
um,
Florida are both dogs, I think.
yeah, they are. So the next one we have here, a big matchup. Both teams coming off a bye week, should be well rested, ready to go and get after it. Kansas State here, and Prime and the Buffs, CU Buffs, man. I mean, what's going to happen with both of them coming off of a long week, and it feels like it's been forever since we've seen them play. I mean, they're just must see TV right now. They're Ashton Genty, they're Ryan Williams. They're just must see TV right now. And then it's Colorado. It's as a group Colorado. It is collectively. You have to see them play. They have a good, Kansas State's got a good quarterback, one of the best true sophomores in the nation, one of the best young quarterbacks in the nation. Period.
Yeah,
And then we have Shadur. They match up toe to toe. I think it's going to come. I was watching Matt McChesney's show today, pretty much doing a preview of this game. And Kansas State's always been a physical team. They've always had a good line. We always know that, a good run game. What I think Colorado could win is if they keep the score really low first quarter. I think if you're looking at a 3-0, 0-0 first quarter,
okay, yeah,
then they're going to win because
right,
they
okay,
people are always waiting for Colorado to finally. This is going to be the game where they come out the gate swinging and they come out firing and they start early good. And it still hasn't happened. Guess what?
right.
Probably isn't, because that's not what they do. They
Yeah,
have
they're
to
better
get
second
going.
half.
They have to get going. Some teams are just like that. And do I think that's going to change this week? No, I think they're going to still have to get go and to get, feel the game out. And then if you get that luxury to fill the game out, if your defense is doing their job on the other end. So I think if they do their job, and if it's a really low scoring affair in the first quarter, it's a weird scenario to set up, but football really comes down to little stuff like that. If they got the second quarter and it's a one possession game, they're good. But what do you think about the game?
I love the matchup. I love they're both coming off a bye. 2 weeks to prepare, so both teams should just be ready to fight, and they know what's coming. It's interesting from both sides because I want to see what each team learned from their only loss of the year. Kansas State lost to BYU, and it was on the road in a tough environment at night, and that's where this game's going to be. And then Colorado's only loss is to a team that's very similar to Kansas State in terms of physicality in Nebraska. They just got manhandled up front, especially in the first half. Nebraska cruised second half. Colorado's improved since then, I think. that's a big thing to note. As I think they got a lot more physical since that game, but we're going to find out. I think that's why games aren't played on paper though. So I think, like I said, I'm excited to see which team's going to learn from their past mistakes, and it's going to be a dogfight, dude. It's going to be. There's so many good games this week. I just love it. I love it.
God, this is going to be a top, I'd say, 3 week of the years when we all look back on it. And I can't wait to look back on our top 6 games throughout all the years and just start ranking them. But this one's going to definitely stand out. But who do you think Kansas State's going to win, or who do you got on a pick where
I
if you
say I
had to
think we
say today?
finally going to disagree on one because I mean, unless I'm wrong, I think you're going to take the Buffaloes, and
Okay.
I'm not this game. I'm not because I'm not a hater either. Like, doesn't make you a hater just to pick against a team. I mean, I pick against Penn State. I'm not a Penn State hater. Okay, so
Yeah.
before everybody stops, everybody, it's like if you pick against Colorado, you're a hater. Okay, like let's stop that fucking sentiment right now. Doesn't make you a hater. You can't pick them in every game. I pick them to win. I picked them to win before. I just think Kansas State has a they had the coach longer. They had the system longer, and it's rare they lose like back to back or 2 out of 3 games. Like they're a consistent program, man. They're one of the most underrated programs in the country, probably. I mean,
Yeah,
they're not
they're
gonna they're not gonna make the championship, but they're not gonna finish 5-7 either ever. You know what I mean? But I'm not giving them the game either. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I love Colorado, of course. I love how they don't quit, dude. When you got Shador and Travis Hunter, of course, you're never out of the game. But the run games look better the last 2 weeks, but I just can't trust it yet, man. And I think against the Kansas State defense, if you can't run the ball, it's very tough to beat them because they can just set back and tee off on the quarterback, and then they have really good DBs too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, like you said, Kansas State's always been good. They've always been consistent. They're kind of like that Nebraska, Wisconsin type deal. You can always count on them being good.
Wisconsin, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, they never fight. They never give up. They always fight. Colorado does, and anytime they're down, you can never count them out. Yeah, I do. I am going to take Colorado in the game. I think they're gonna come out. What I don't think you're a hater if you pick against Colorado in the pregame. But the problem I have with people is when they win they come up with a new excuse that why they won.
Oh, I hate that too.
It's always some new excuse after Colorado wins,
No,
and
you
they
heard me
never
after the
said it.
Central Florida game, man. I gave them their flowers. I didn't hate on them. I said, "Wow, they're looking a lot better. They look physical today because that was the number one rush offense." So I'm not one of them, but I do see that a lot. You're right on the internet, man. It's like, oh, but,
It's
yeah,
yeah, it's a new like, and all these teams are so good before the game, and right after they're horrible. But I get it. I mean, you gotta have if you don't have haters, you ain't doing nothing right. So I mean,
right, yeah,
but yeah, like I said, I'll go with Buffs on that. My MVP of this game, I think, is gonna be Jimmy Horn Jr.
underrated player,
I think
honestly,
he's gonna have a
underrated.
really big game. They're going to try to shut Travis Hunter down, and I think that's going to open up some lanes for Jimmy Horn and their 2 running backs is going to also give some balance there. And go ahead and give me the Buffs, which leads us to our next game. 2 undefeated teams here: Ohio State and Oregon. One of these teams is going to get their first loss. Both of these teams here we've picked for the national championship. I had OSU, you had Oregon. Both the teams they're not looking as good as they were preseason, which we've admitted in the past on our last stream. But with that being said, does Will Howard get it done, or are we going to see Dylan here go out there and ball? I don't know. What do you think? I
I
don't know.
can't. I've been on this team all off season, man. I love this Oregon squad. I don't care about these past games, man. They ain't had a real dog play them yet. They like this is a dog. They're gonna step up. That's what real teams do. They step up. They play their competition. I mean, you've seen it a lot of times with a lot of teams. But that being said, Ohio State had just that reason I'm really picking Oregon isn't because of their talent advantage. Because there isn't one. They don't have a talent advantage. It's
Right.
Ohio State might have a slight talent advantage, if anything. But
They
either
do.
way, I like them because Ohio State hasn't been tested. They just
No.
haven't played anybody close to as good as Oregon. At least Oregon's played Boise State, who has the best running back in the country, and as well as some very solid receivers. So Boise State's legit, bro. They would if Ohio State went to Boise, it'd be a good game.
Oh yeah.
So that's the reason I'm really going with Oregon. I like Dylan Gabriel. I know he threw 2 red zone picks last week, which if he does that again, yeah, they ain't gonna win. But he's also 78% completion percentage on the year.
Jeff Nadu thinks he's still going to win the Heisman.
I took that a couple weeks ago, and I ain't going off. I didn't say he might not win it, but he's gonna be. I still saying he's gonna be in the ceremony at least.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, so
I
all
mean, that's a
right,
real bold
how's
prediction by Nadu, but I can't go that far. I mean, damn, he would have to step it up a lot.
yeah, I think I think he's gonna be missing out, unfortunately. So, okay, let's see here with the picks. I mean, OSU, Oregon, they're going toe to toe. Like you said, these teams haven't been too crazy tested this year. I think the physicality is not what we would expected out of both of these teams. Honestly, I thought they'd be more physical, but I mean, with the wide receiver core Ohio State has, they've always had a pretty good wide receiver core, but their wide receiver core is deadly. I think, and that's what's going to really chew them up here. I think they're going to have, if you can give the quarterback all day to throw, if you can do it, which I think you can keep that defense at bay at least for a little bit. I think OSU could beat them and maybe beat them by double digits. Not
Let me
maybe right at 10, but I would say give me the Bucks here. I think they're going to win. I think we're not going to see a crazy game stat wise, or we might see a game stat wise where you're like, how did he get 300 yards, or how did he get three? Because I didn't see anything. Or we're just going to see the two teams light up the box score and just not translate to points. So, yeah, give me go ahead and give me Ohio State. I don't think Will Howard will be the reason they win, but he won't be the reason they lose.
see. That's where I got to say something about Will Howard. That was my next point. He's never played in a game this big, and Kansas State, you don't play in games this big. You play it against, I mean, Texas, I guess. I mean, but Kansas State, you don't have. It's not the Ohio State. It's not Ohio State, bro. The brand. This is not nearly. This is the biggest game he's played in, bro. Dylan Gabriel's been here, done that many a times at Oklahoma. He beat Texas last year in the Red River rivalry, man. So that's my thing. That's yeah. I don't. I think Will Howard is the reason they lose, man.
Okay. Well, I do want to say this is a weird game. This is like so foreign to us, I think, because Oregon doesn't really play. They haven't, besides like a nice kickoff game or something in the past, they don't really play a lot of crazy people during this time of year. So I think that is
Yeah, Big
going to,
12 back then. Yeah, I mean
yeah,
USC.
they sucked for so long.
Yeah, but people give them credit regardless.
I
Not me, but
guess
not me and
a
you.
win
But
over USC is what it used to be with
oh
Pete
no, you're
Carroll.
right.
Obviously everybody that's a no brainer, but that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think Oregon usually has been playing like really blue chip teams like these like Ohio State during the season. So I think that's going to have some time adjusting to them, and I just think that's where they're going to have a learning
At
experience their first
Autzen
year.
though,
I know, that's cool, but I think they're just gonna. I don't know. I just think they're gonna come up short. So I got
okay.
Ohio State. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game. I'm thinking maybe like 35 ish around there. First team to 30 wins around there. But yeah, go ahead and give me the Bucks here, which leads us into our last game here, which is going to have some really big SEC championship implications down the road. Ole Miss does not want to lose this game to stay in contention. You do not want to get your second loss right now. They're facing an LSU team, which looks like they're trending upward right now, but I don't think they're really ready to get that real big stamp win, big staple win of the year to where you get on a roll after. I think Lane Kiffin is a beast coming off a loss. He showed that last year, and now he's just trying to get back on the train and get things how they were supposed to be going. So, but this team does affect this game does affect your team, the Gators, if they can go ahead and show up and come up with the upset. But who you think's gonna win? LSU, Ole Miss? You got
I'm definitely gonna be watching it for Florida just because we play both of them later in the year. But besides that, I, this actually my opinions on these teams have shifted so much since the start of the season. I didn't believe I liked them both going into the year, and now I don't really like either one of them. It's crazy. I liked Ole Miss before Kentucky lost. I know it's one game, but who'd they beat before that? They're beating up on scrubs.
nobody. Yeah.
Then they play Kentucky, the best team they played, and then take like a L. I mean, they didn't even look good at all. They have one receiver. It looks like has done any damage. They only got one receiver, and that's a problem. That SEC. Trey Harris is amazing. He might win the Blitnikoff, but they don't have anybody else to throw to. Jackson Dart, if they take him away, Jackson Dart just had nobody to throw to. I've noticed that watching some of their games. If Trey Harris is not open, nobody else is open. And then their run game is pretty good, but they just don't have a bell cow back, a
No.
guy they can hang their hat on. So that's why I'm not big on Ole Miss anymore. And then LSU, I know you're not like Nussmeier, but he's been playing good, man. I don't
Boo.
know if you've been paying attention to LSU lately.
Boo. I don't have a good sound effect for him.
I hate
Yeah, I don't
LSU.
think there's one even.
I hate LSU too. That's another rivalry. So I don't like talk good about him, but dude, he's been balling, man.
Here,
He's been
No,
playing better
he's
than Dart the last few weeks.
I agree. I agree. I don't like Jackson Dart. I've never liked Jackson Dart. I've always said Jackson Dart sucks,
He does.
and he makes Bo Nix look like a god. Jackson Dart does. So, but okay. Who do
Yeah.
you? But so who do you think you got LSU in this one? This sounds
No,
like
no, I don't. That's what I'm saying. After all I said, I still got to say something about LSU. Their run game has been non-existent for like 6 years now. What the hell's up with that? They used to have back after back after back after back to the league.
so. It's just so many teams after they go all in for that championship run, and they just some teams don't ever get back to it. I don't know.
But
It's
I
like
mean, they've had the receivers. They still got the receivers, but man, they ain't had a run game in literally since like Fournette, bro. Like it's wild.
they're just really similar. Like if you take the Burrow year and remove it, they're just really similar to like Kentucky, like quarterbacks, and just like they've never really, besides Burrow, he was a transfer coming in. I mean,
Well,
Jordan
Jay Daniels
Jefferson,
too last year.
yeah, but yeah, okay, take those two away. These recent two quarterbacks they've had that were good, but they haven't had any pretty good quarterbacks that
Oh
are just
no!
like
After
you raving
Jamarcus
about.
Russell to Burrow was
Bad.
that's a long stretch too, and no, it was bad. You had Justin Jefferson, Flynn, no, not Flynn,
No, Flynn.
Lee, Matt Dylan Lee or Matt Lee, whatever the
And
hell his name.
they had and then Les Miles is last year. He had two quarterbacks running, and one had dreads, and then a white boy. I don't know their names
They
though.
had that guy that played for the Packers, Etling
Danny Etling, yeah.
from Purdue. I mean, yeah, they just had bums before Burrow. You're right. They did have a down stretch, but like I said, they had a run game then, and now they got a pass game. Don't have a run game. If they can put them together, that's when they're good. Like when they had Burrow, they put it together. They had both. So last year they didn't have a run game either. That's what let Danny Daniels down. They still have a run game. That's why I'm taking Ole Miss. No
I
run
like that.
game. No run game. SEC. And when you're playing a good team, if you're one dimensional, you're going to struggle to win. And I think they're one dimensional right now.
Yeah, yeah. I think Lane Kiffin's his mo with this team with his personnel right now. I think he just tries to take the ball or take the try to make Jackson start and make it to where it's possible for him to make a mistake. He tries to just get an offense curated around him that's real safe, doesn't take a lot of risk, and I think he's just making do with what he has. So yeah, I like Ole Miss in this one for sure. I hate LSU this year. I just don't like the makeup of their team. I think they deserve more. Just in this new landscape we have, like they deserve to have a way better quarterback. I know they just had Jaden Daniels, but that was a rental, and I just think they deserve to have those blue chip guys left and right. I think that would be better for football if they were better. So go ahead and give me Ole Miss. I'm not too crazy on this one just because I don't think these two teams are going to be, in contention later down for the championship or anything like that. So, but with that being said, go ahead and give me Ole Miss. So, okay, do a quick rundown, then we'll move on from our pick six games from week 7, see how they shake out. Me and you got Texas. Me and you agreed on USC, and we agreed on Florida there. But then I went with Colorado. You got K State, and then I got Ohio State, and you got Oregon, and then we got Ole Miss versus LSU. We're both riding with the Rebels. So um,
Rebs.
I like it. I like it. I like it. So, okay, we'll go ahead and move on here. We'll see how these games shake up. We're going to do a preview show Saturday morning, do a deeper dive of all the rest of the games, and really get and compare these stats of these teams and try to get a deeper look. So, let's go ahead and move on here. Do want to go ahead and take another look at the top 25 poll because this will definitely look different this time next week with these games coming up. So, we'll take a look back on it. Last time we'll see it look like this. After we've had a couple days to sit on it and look at these games that are coming up, what are the biggest changes you think you're going to see this week?
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned Penn State on Tuesday night. And we both said they're going to lose. So there's one team dropping down right there. We both said that number 8, Tennessee is going to lose.
Yep.
And you said number 3, Oregon's going to lose. And I said number 2, Ohio State's going to lose. So, I mean, that's a lot of the top 10 movement right there alone. And then
Yep.
if you look a little further down on Iowa State, which is honorable mention, pick 6, just saying. I was
Yep.
not being a homer. If I sent the list, bro, I put West Virginia, Iowa State. He decided to put Florida, Tennessee, which I love. I just didn't want to be a homer.
That's
But
a
Iowa
lot.
State, very tough game too. They might
He's
lose number
lying.
11. I mean, you might have 4 top 10, top 11 teams go down this week. So it's another exciting week, dude.
And that's
My
why it's
opinion.
all looking good for the Hoosiers. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, bro. The
they're going to
Hoosiers
move
are
up again. They should
coming.
move up
They
again.
are coming. I'm telling you.
But does
Go
any
ahead.
team drop below them if they lose? I mean, that we're talking about. Number 13
LSU,
LSU. Let's say
LSU,
LSU loses, they might jump them, but
LSU.
Iowa
Yeah,
State's 11. I don't
because
even know
they're
if they
going.
would jump Iowa State.
but they're gonna bump Boise. Best believe Boise gets a little love this next top 25. I think I said this is our last time looking at it, but I said being like this. But we're actually going to take another look at this when we do our deeper dive Saturday morning because these rest of these games on here, this back half, this SMU back half Pitt, I think that's going to be affected too. That
Pitt
we'll
game's
talk
a
about
great game.
that
This
are
game is
outside
gonna
of
be
our
good again. All their
yeah.
games are great. If you want to watch a good fucking good game, close game, watch Pitt, dude. I don't.
A close game, the most exciting 24 points you'll ever see in a game
I swear to
scored.
God, the fourth quarter, Eli Holstein, bro. In the fourth quarter, he is like the perfect QB rating, and he sucks the first three quarters. They're the weirdest team in the country. I love Pitt to death right now. Second favorite team in the country behind Florida. Go Pitt, baby.
They will almost score 48, but score 24 and still make it look good. And
I
I
don't
think
know.
I think Illinois is going to drop off here soon. We'll get into that later Saturday morning. But yeah, I just want to take another look at this because I think there's going to be a lot of shakeup here with top 25. I think BYU is come crashing down here soon, and like you said, one of those top 2 and 3, Oregon, Ohio State, are going to change. We both have Penn State losing and Tennessee losing as well. I think Miami is going to be one of those teams that continue to win, but take a slip back. I think they're going to win by a hair on a couple of these ACC matchups coming up, and they'll
That's
lose a couple
that's what
spots.
they've been doing, man. They're just not that good, bro.
They're
I
not.
don't know what it is about Miami. They played their best the first 3 weeks of the year every year. If Florida played them now, bro, I think I'll say we would win, but God, shit would be way way closer.
While we're on the U, I do want to talk about that. Last night I was bored and I watched the U Part Two last night, and the Shockey era, Vilma era, and
Great giant.
Santana Moss. Well, I learned just real quick while we're talking about him with the sanctions that they had real bad back then when they got in all that trouble, they lost a lot of their scholarships, right? So it's Santana Moss and a couple of those other guys. They came over on track scholarships, and they just got to play football. They was like, "Yo, we need you to come over on a track scholarship, but
Wow.
you actually have to run track." And they had to run track to in order to play ball. Still,
Santana Moss ran track in college, huh?
he did. He Santana Moss, and then he had a little
He
brother
was a
that went
dog.
there. He had a little brother that went there. Um,
Sonoris.
yes, and he was on there last night. I was watching, and had a few good interviews. Just that era was really cool. That Miami and Ken Dorsey. After that, I really respected Ken Dorsey.
I mean, he was the. It's weird when the quarterback is the worst player on the team, man. They still
Yeah,
win.
and
Like
those
I
teams are
love.
so likable because everybody knows it, and even the quarterback knows it, and he's just along for the ride.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. He just didn't mess up. Like that's all you got to do sometimes is not mess up, and he did that. So good for Ken Dorsey, bro. Like good for him.
Yeah,
He's
shout
always
out
gonna
Ken
be loved in
Dorsey.
Miami.
Shout out Ken Dorsey. Okay, so like we said, a lot of this stuff is going to get affected here. So we're not able to break these down by conference. You're not able to get a look and to kind of predict. So that's what we did. We broke down the conference standings as of right now. We're going to start with ACC. Who do you think wins the ACC right now? We have Clemson, Miami, SMU, Virginia, Pitt, Syracuse. Pretty competitive at the top right here with ACC. Honestly, out of looking at it right now, like you said, Miami's looking like they're going to switch. They're going to slip up here soon. Clemson's hotter than ever right now, and then I think it's a 3 or 4 person race, 4 horse race right now with Clemson, Miami, SMU, and Pitt. I think those 4 teams are going to be fighting for the ACC championship. I don't think Pitt's going to win it. I think they're going to wreck somebody's party. But who do you got winning the ACC right now if you had to choose today?
Um, I'm going Clemson over Miami right now, just after the past couple weeks, man. If you asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have said Miami, freaking no doubt, and I hate
Yep.
them to death, and I still would have said that. But
Yep.
they got they're two. I mean, I'm not gonna say bad calls, but lucky calls away from being 4-2 instead of 6-0. That targeting, that one was lucky, bro. I don't know if anybody's seen that damn play. Terrible. I mean, that's textbook targeting. I know I don't
Well,
like targeting rule because it's football, but if you're gonna have the rule, that was textbook.
with me watching with I would have mentioned real quick with me watching the U Part Two last night. I do want to bring it back to the 2002 national championship when they were trying to run it back and they lost on that pass interference
Ohio
call. That
State,
that
yeah.
was not a pass interference, and that was a horrible call for the Natty. That should have never been made. That was not an unlucky call. That was a bad call. But we'll move on. That's all right. I just had to say that because that was
Different
crazy. That
years,
was for the
different
national
year.
championship. I didn't know that it came down to that last play like that, and they already celebrated, and then they threw the flag. But I want to add right here with ACC and kind of piggyback off what you're saying. It's first off, it's a really weird seeing Stanford in here as ACC. It's just weird seeing them in there. there. As a winner here, like you said, if we was a couple weeks ago, we're taking Miami by a mile. I think honestly, it's going to come down to two teams out of those four I mentioned. It was SMU and Clemson. I think those two teams are going to be battling for ACC. And if SMU can stay disciplined like they have been all year, they're really well coached. I think they could come out with the ACC. But who would you take if you had to choose it? Yeah, I guess if you had to just right now put your money
Right
on
now,
it.
I'll take Clemson for sure. I like Klubnik's been playing his best ball of his career.
Yeah, yes.
Like for real, there's no doubt about that. They haven't beat anybody great during this win streak. I will throw that in there, but it doesn't matter when you're scoring every time you get the ball, man. They're scoring every time they get the ball. Um, they're still not Clemson that we saw 5 or 6 years ago with Trevor Lawrence or Deshaun
No,
Watson. They're definitely not close to that team. Not even close. Not even close. But the ACC is just not strong as it hasn't been in a while. So I like them. Miami, man, they're just lucky. They're just getting by the skin of their freaking teeth, dude. Cam Ward's will them to victory eventually. He's not going to do that. Their
nope.
defense, they're down 38-10. Great comeback. You got to give them credit. Great comeback, but come on, Cal, bro.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, you can't survive every week by the skin of your teeth. It's going to eventually bite you. So if you're going to take Clemson, okay, I'm going to rock with SMU right now. Just on
Okay,
on the
fair.
crazy year that they're having. I think after watching that Louisville game that they played, the scoreboard didn't tell it, but they outplayed them by a mile. They were so much more disciplined. One thing I tweeted here about that game actually about last week. One thing they do really good at is when they're having a gain down the field, a longer run than normal or a pass down the field, they have their guys blocking downfield, but they disengage because they don't want to get that block in the back a lot.
I did
They're
see that,
really
yeah.
good. No, they're so good at that. I've never seen it where teams do it, but if they do it so well, it stands out. When they're downfield blocking stands out how they disengage. I mean, then they're doing something right. So that's why I like them just because they're disciplined and I think they have the best kicker in the nation. Their kicker is a freaking beast. He hit like a 54 yarder.
I
It
don't know
could
if
have
he's
been
better Miami's, man.
no, he is. He could have been okay. I'm gonna get some footage because he
Boregalis.
he hit a 54 yarder. It could have been good for about 60, but easy.
Before we
But
move on from the ACC, I gotta say something about Florida State because I'm a hater. Um, I'm looking at their schedule here the rest of the year. I think they might go 3-9 because they got Duke next. Toss up. Then they got Miami. It's a loss. North Carolina, probably a loss. Notre Dame. I mean, that's a L. Charleston Southern. Okay, we'll give them that one. And then they got to play Florida. We're beating them this year for sure. I don't care what anybody tells me. So like that's the 3-9, 4-8 Florida State. I freaking love it, man. Mike Norvell, baby. Yeah, get him out of here.
get him out. Both of y'all are gonna get
No,
new
leave him
coaches.
here. Leave him here, man. Leave him here. I'm just kidding. Leave him.
No, no, both of them are going to leave. Okay, so all right, so I like that take here with you with ACC. I thought Duke maybe would be higher up here. They fell so much just off one loss. I mean, disrespect on Duke this year has been crazy. You're disrespecting Duke left and right. It's
They're
going to
not
come back
good,
to get
bro.
you. You play with the devil, you're going to get the horn.
They're
So
not good, bro.
let's go ahead and move on here. I want to move on to the Big 12 real quick. Just mention them really quick because I just obviously this not going to have too many teams in the playoffs. But out of any of these teams, do you see any of these teams making the playoff out of Big 12?
Well, they have to.
Well, I
Pretty
mean, do
much.
you see two teams? I mean, like a two-teamer,
Two.
two teams.
No, no, definitely not two. There's not a two-bid league this year. I don't think. They just beat up on each other. I mean, Texas Tech's winning it right now. No way they ended up winning it. That's gonna like Kansas 0-3. Wow, who saw that coming? Oklahoma State 0-3. I love this conference because it's just chaos. You got a lot of good teams, but no great teams at all. A lot of bad teams, but no terrible teams. It's a great conference to watch week in and week out. But definitely one playoff team. Whoever wins this conference, I think, is the only one that's going to get a bid. They're going to be the 4 seed for sure. They're not going to be 3 or 2.
It's just such a weird conference just to see these like
It's so weird.
specific teams grouped together because it's like, wouldn't you just want these teams spread out? Because if you take a few of these
It's
other
fun though.
teams, I know, but if you take two of these teams and put them in the American, one of these teams put them in the ACC, and then take one of those teams and put them in the Big 10, they would make all of those conferences a lot more interesting. And this conference, Big 12, would still have a good conference left if you just took those, took a 4 or 5 teams out, which kind of baffles me. But that's why in the coming years, I do see them they'll get two bids in there down the road, but just not this year, like you said. I agree. So Colorado, do you think they're going to win the Big 12? Do you think they're going to win the Big 12? Do you think they're going to be the representative or no?
No, I don't. I'm actually gonna pick. I'm going with the Wildcats of Kansas State. I know they already got a conference loss, but I don't think any team's gonna have one conference loss. I think every team in this conference will have two conference
Yeah,
losses at the end of the year. So it's
agreed.
gonna come down to tiebreakers, and I already picked Kansas State over Colorado this week, so that's why I'm going Kansas State to win the conference. But I mean, it's a crap. Iowa State could win. BYU could win. West Virginia could end up winning. Arizona could even come back and win. Utah, Rising. I mean, who knows? If he comes back, they're running the table. You know how I feel about him. I know he doesn't play a lot, but when he does, they don't lose, bro. So
Yeah,
I mean, this
yeah.
conference is wide open. But yeah, Kansas State's my pick if I had to pick one, man.
Okay, Kansas State. I like that. I like Kansas State. Now, I wish, I wish Texas Tech could keep going, but I think they're eventually going to crash and burn. They've had a great year. They really have had so far a great year. Shout out to them. But okay, we'll go ahead and move on from there. We're not. So I got. I'm going to take Colorado coming out of the Big 12. I'm not a homer with them. I just think they are the best team in this conference. But we're going to see this
It
week, and
could
this week
be.
I think this week they are going to prove it. So all right, so we'll go ahead and move on here, and we'll go to the Big Ten. Who is going to win the Big Ten right now? We have, Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon fighting for it. In my opinion, just those three teams. All the other teams are just playing for silver and bronze. So, what out of these teams here? You think it's going to stay the same right here with these rankings? Obviously, you have Oregon beating Ohio State, so you think they're going to probably finish higher. But are they going to finish higher down? They'll get the head to head. But do you see it shaking up? Do you just switch out Oregon with Indiana here, or what would you do?
See, I'm still. Indiana's played great so far, but
But you're still a
nobody's
hater.
talking.
But you're still a
No,
hater.
definitely not. They just haven't beat nobody worth anything, bro. Their best win's Maryland,
I
dude. Like
know, I know,
we
but
got to
it
pump the
comes.
brakes a little bit.
I
I
want.
know it's Indiana, so they're 6-0, first time since 1967, so they're automatically good. Doesn't make you good. We're gonna find out if they're good in the next 5 weeks when they get Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State. Then we're gonna find out how good they are.
I like
I
that.
think they'll come out of that 3-2, which is still a good team, but they're not great. They'll finish 10-2 for them. It's an amazing season, but it ain't good enough to win the Big Ten. But they'll finish third or fourth. Yeah, it's just still for them, man. This is a great year, and this Kurt Cignetti's first year there, so all he can do, he's going to build and build. You would think,
Oh my
but
God,
we
he's
also thought
gonna.
that with Tom
That's
Allen after his first couple of years, and they only went downhill. So you never know with Indiana football, but I just don't think they can beat Michigan or Ohio State, man.
I
You think
mean,
they got a chance?
I think they can get one of them. I
They
think they
could
can
beat
get.
Michigan, man. You're right. They
I
could.
think
They
they can beat Michigan, and then and just on the future outlook of the the Big Ten with them. I mean, they might get Julian Lewis. They are still in the running for the number one quarterback in the nation. I think we're forgetting about, which is
That's
easy to
true.
forget about because, yeah, people know they're considering him, but people just don't think he's going to go there, and I don't blame them because that's what happened. So, okay, I do, but coming out of the Big Ten, who I think is going to fully win it, just I have to go with Ohio State. I got them winning the national championship. I think Ohio State will win it by the skin of their teeth. This week will kind of this week is really big for the Big Ten and who's going to win the Big Ten championship or at least go to the Big Ten championship game. This is really big for the implications here. Um, all the other conferences, they're kind of still in that period where they can kind of afford the loss still. Ole Miss is one of those few teams that can't afford it, in my opinion, but pretty much every other team I think can afford the loss. So
Well,
um,
Tennessee, Florida, both are really can't either.
Tennessee's
Well,
not
not.
going
I know
to.
we're not contender, but Tennessee's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, they're not going to be. I'll call their bluff on that. But yeah, okay. I feel that though on the Big Ten. I mean, this does have big implications. I want to root for Indiana now. They're kind of really growing on me. Like you said, they haven't played anybody, but how you win matters against that competition. Um,
Absolutely.
I do. But I think those one of those things where it's both points make sense there. So I'm gonna go with the Ohio State and stay true there, just off of strength with them, honestly. But we'll go ahead and move on to the bigger conference here. The big boys, the dogs, the SEC. We're going to see here what's going to happen. I mean, we got both SECs here. We'll first start off with first half. and then we're just going to get your second pick for the East. So this is the SEC. This is the East right here, right? Florida, y'all are in the East.
Well, it's all together now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But okay, that's what I'm saying. I
Top
thought it
two
said
teams play.
SEC
Whoever
twice
finishes
here.
top two plays each other.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I stand corrected.
We
Cool.
don't
I
play
thought
Vandy. Yeah, we don't get to play Vandy this year,
no, that text is real
which is
small.
good
It
because they're
says
finally good. But
the text is real small. I thought it said It says Mountain West next to it, but I thought it said SEC.
no,
On
no, there's only
bold.
yeah, it's all together now.
Okay, cool. So I was hoping we didn't have to split in two graphics. So out of the SEC right now, just a landscape of it. I like LSU is rated way too high. Call me a hater if you want, whatever. I'm just a realist. Y'all are gonna hate me now, thank me later in a couple weeks with LSU. They suck. Arkansas, they've gave every team a really hard fight. Every single team they've played. So I've really respected that because I didn't expect it. But if I had to pick someone to come out of the SEC right now, I'm going to still rock with Texas. I think they are the best team, and they're kind of head and shoulders right now above everyone in the SEC.
You know, nobody's realizing that the SEC is going to come down to the last game of the year. Texas A&M probably. Texas A&M schedule is pretty much a cakewalk right now. Actually, they should be 11
They're
and one.
playing. They're playing a lot better than what they started the season
They
out
should be
with.
10-1 when they meet Texas. I'm not going to lie. Looking at their schedule, Mississippi State, LSU, which is their hardest game. LSU's the hardest game. After them, they got South Carolina, New Mexico State, and Auburn before Texas. I mean, if they should run the table before
Yeah,
Texas, bro. And that's that they might have to face each other twice because they both might be undefeated going into that game in conference play. So there might be a rematch the next week in the SEC championship.
damn. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
It is
I just started
big.
looking at this week and I was like, wow, A&M's they're in a great position.
And Bama's not dead. Do not forget. We cannot
Of
forget
course
about
not.
Bama's not dead.
Georgia ain't dead either.
I think this is a big next couple weeks for them. I think Georgia is not the same Georgia we've seen. I think their off the field stuff is just piling up left and right with those guys down there. I
Another
don't.
one this
I think
week, bro.
yeah. I think this year is just not their year. It's very evident, honestly. Just it's too much going on, and I just don't think it's their year. I think it's Bama or Texas, and Texas is going to definitely win the SEC in my opinion. So, is that who you rocking with though? Out of your winner out of the SEC?
Yeah, I'm going with Texas. They just haven't shown any real flaws yet.
No.
But like a lot of these teams we're talking about at the top of the list, man, they haven't played no damn good teams
I
either.
know, I know. That's why LSU, like I said, I cannot believe they're right there. But I get it. They're beating
Like
up on
it's
it.
so A&M has played a couple good teams, man. They beat Missouri and Florida, and they lost to Notre Dame. But that's already three good teams out of six. Texas ain't played nobody. Like it's just this early in the year, man. It's so hard to really predict it because we're just going off of they look good against UTSA and Houston.
Yeah, and then that brings it back, like because a lot of these teams are gonna get their first licks this week off the matchups alone, and just spread around. So like we've already went over these undefeated teams that we went over the other day. We both agreed that BYU is probably going to get their first loss besides the Ohio State and Oregon matchup. We both
I
are on
guess we
different
changed our
sides in the
mind to
boat
Penn
there.
State now, though, huh?
Well, I think so, huh? Because I think we're thinking Penn
We
State's going
both
to
picked
come up short.
USC.
Well, we'll see who. We'll look at here. Out of all the with Liberty being able to escape last night, I mean they almost choked and they were a 15-point favorite. It was almost dead, but I was kind of slipping up there because I was thinking about BYU of who they have coming up next.
They got a tough game too.
They have
Arizona.
Arizona, right? Arizona. Then it looks like they have Oklahoma State, then UCF. So they're definitely losing soon. But is it going to be this week, like we said with Penn State? I think they both could lose this week.
Oh, they could lose Arizona, absolutely. It's gonna be that's another great game, dude. That's what I'm saying. This week's so loaded. Even like the games we couldn't even talk about. Like that's a good game. Cincinnati, Central Florida, Utah, Arizona State. This schedule is just crazy. It's crazy. It's loaded. BYU this week though, I'm taking them. I'm taking them over Arizona, man. Arizona, Fafita just hasn't been playing as good as last year. I don't know if he's missing Jed Fish as a coach or he's missing running back Jonah Coleman. It's one of them two things probably because he's still got McMillan. But nobody else really gets open in that offense, so it's McMillan or bust. And against a good defense, like BYU has a great defense, and I think they'll be able to tough it out.
I think you're right. You hit the nail on the head, Jed Fish, man. His presence is definitely missed there. I think Coaches are important, man. They're important. You see with Jerry Kill, he's been able to, get over there in a new position with his health is under order, and he's helping out there at Vandy. And they've it was kind of a package deal, I think, with them, him and Pavia,
Oh
because
yeah.
he's like an analyst. But yeah, like you said, those coaches are important, man, and these are undefeated teams so far that are still remaining. This is going to definitely get knocked down. We think by 3 teams, obviously. While we're looking at it, I think Arizona wins. I think Penn State loses, and I think Oregon loses. You think Ohio State loses. So
Oh, you're going with
um,
Arizona? Okay.
I'll go with Arizona. I'll go with Arizona in that one. I think if a fight is going to wake up and decide to throw a decent ball to another receiver that's not McClellan, that's his name, right? McClellan or McMillan?
McMillan.
McMillan. I like him a lot. We talked about him the
He's
other
great.
day.
He's the best.
He's
He's the best
really
receiver in
talented.
this draft.
Yeah, he's tough, man. So okay, that's our take on the undefeated teams. A lot of these teams are gonna have a rude awakening. Army and Navy still kicking; they're still kicking. So, but that brings us to what we want to announce here. While we're about to end the show, we have a big announcement coming up that we want to get to. Like you said, we've been on foot and was able to go to Elite 11 last summer and get some quarterbacks. Really caught our eye out of the 100 quarterbacks we got to see throw that all have schools, future homes, but these guys kind of stood out on our short list, and one of them his name was Jameer Spain, coming out of Mount Healthy in Cincinnati. Well, that's not too far from us, so we're in contact with Jameer, and we want to announce here we are going to be on foot and at the Mount Healthy game tomorrow night in Cincinnati, bringing you live and on-field coverage and doing some interviews post game. So really excited there. Mount Healthy's a really tough team out of Cincy. They got a few D1 players on their team we're able to get a hold of, and I'm really excited to talk to and see them ball out, man. Haven't been to a high school game in so long, and being able to see these guys ball out, and they got some real competition up there in Cincy. And like you said, you've seen Jameer the throw. You was there, and really excited here. And what do you think? We think Jameer's going to ball out?
It should be a good game, man. I've never seen some Cincinnati football in my life, so it'd be cool to see a different city. I've really never watched football outside of Louisville, and we're not the best city for high school football. Let's just be honest. So it should be a step up in competition and level. So I think I'm just excited to watch some kids ball out, and I hope Jameer Spain just goes for 350 again.
Yep. And we got his highlights here playing. This is Jameer Spain out of Cincinnati. I mean, this guy is really good, man. He can make all the throws. He's mobile. He's a really good leader. When we saw him throw with all those 100 quarterbacks, he was getting extra throws in,
He sits in
on
the
the
pocket
side.
too, though, as you can see. Like he don't have
He,
to run.
he plays above his frame, bigger than what he is. He's not little, but he's just not huge in some of these big good time quarterbacks. He's got offers, I think, from Toledo. He's got offers from Akron and Temple
I mean, that
and
jump
Kent.
pass right there is crazy.
Yeah, in Kent State. So he's got, but I think honestly, I think he deserves some higher offers. I think later in the season, once some more guys enter the portal bowl season, his offers will pick up a little bit more than they already have. So future D1 guy, we're able to take a look at a few other D1 guys they have on the team that we're really excited about. But we do have another video clip we want to show. Do want to show this pass here, right here, him stepping up in the pocket, and look at that, just on the throw, on the
Oh, right.
money.
That was a
I
dot. That
mean,
was a dot.
he's so good, man, and I'm really excited to see him throw. We're going to being able to see a player up in the stands is one thing, but as me and both who we played, seeing somebody at eye level, at field level, make those plays is just another experience just to see that kind of speed out there. And
Oh yeah, I'm
and
excited to see him play, man. He looks electric. He looks electric.
yeah, and then so with that being said, we want to go ahead and showcase our interview with Jameer from Elite 11. So go ahead and take a look. All right, sitting here with Jameer Spain. Just finished up as Columbus Regional here at Elite 11. Looked really good today from start to finish. Even getting some extra throws in there at the end when everybody's breaking it down. That was definitely seen. So how you think it went today? How's your thoughts on how it went today?
I think today went great. It was good. Cold. Just slinging the rock today. Yes, sir.
That's all you can do, man. You got to, you got to make lemonade out of lemons. So we're looking at schools here. I was showing Temple, Akron, EKU, and Central Michigan. Even seeing Bowling Green on here. About those schools I'm showing that are offering you already. Is there anything that like a specific school that's standing out as of right now?
I say Temple, for real. Yeah, they've been making that connection with me. Had a meeting with the coach. It was right.
Okay. And you got like any plans to take any visits as of right now?
Penn State next week. Uh, and then I got a couple more visits coming up soon.
Okay. And about this upcoming season, like I said, going to senior year, last run around the track here. And what about specific goals? Like, is there any specific goals you're wanting to get accomplished here?
Just get over 2K this year. More than 20 passing touchdowns, more than 10 rushing.
Okay, got you. Got to be versatile, like you said.
And we got to hit state.
Okay, got to hit state, man. That's the most important thing, man.
Got to hit state.
But like I said, and we've talked to a few guys here, but like I said, I think your style fits, most systems, if not all of them.
Yes, sir.
What's the most specific thing you're looking for in a program? Is there a specific type of style you like to play, or are you just kind of run and gun or whatever, whichever the coach wants to run?
I want like a spread offense. Like, yeah, I'm trying to spread that thing for sure.
Okay, got you. So like you kind of like being on the move, throwing on the move?
Yes, sir.
Yep, I hear you.
Plays.
Okay. Now how about like offers or anything? Like as of right now, is there any like newer schools you're hearing? Like as you said, Kent State, you're going next week. Is there any other schools that you're hearing from as of late?
Not right now.
Okay. And well, we were sure here that's going to change here. Like I said, Jameer Spain absolutely ripping it here at Elite 11 Columbus. Once again, thanks. All right. As Jameer Spain, like I said, absolute baller. He did go on that visit to Kent State later on. He got offered, so that was back in April when we was able to get that interview. And we'll be back at Elite 11 hopefully this year. Sure we will. And at a few other camps, we'll be able to get some more interviews like that and be able to get an early look on some of these guys before they start ripping it. I mean, he's almost at 2,000 yards for the season already. So
He's balling, man.
He's a beast, man. So with that being said, that is all we got for you today. And in our Thursday night show, like we said, we do have our Saturday morning stream, which we'll do a full deep dive into our games that we got going on. Really excited. Everyone tuning in on YouTube, Kick, Rumble. We got Twitch as well, and pretty much everywhere that you can go get live streaming from and go back and watch it as well. So what are your final thoughts here going into the week? Just going in, getting a quick overview going into Saturday morning.
I'm just excited for this week of football, man. I always am. That's all I do on Saturdays during college football season is watch football. No, whether I'm at home or I'm at the lake or whatever I'm doing, I got games on. So I'm just excited for this week, man. It's one of the best weeks of the year. I'm so ready for this Florida game, even though I don't have high expectations anymore. That makes it actually makes it more fun going into games, Like if we win, we're not supposed to anymore. So it's fun, man. I'm ready. Everybody have a great – I hope y'all enjoy y'all's Friday night games. Y'all that have kids out there and y'all that are kids, man, I hope y'all have a great game. Ball out.
Ball out. I think Jameer Stain's going to ball out. Shout out to Jason Wright. Virginia was our last week's player of the week. We'll see who gets some player of the weeks. Throughout the whole region and throughout the state, we'll see if Jameer Spain can come out and ball out in person. And we'd love to see that. So, like you said, it's the best. I've spent so much time, like you said, Saturday watching games all day, and I wouldn't take it back a minute of it. It's been so fun. And we're glad we're able to cover it as well. So catch us back at Saturday morning live, and we're ready. Get your coffee, and we'll get you right for the morning before the game start.
It looks like we got our kinks worked out too, man. I might be on here for good now. So
yeah,
we got to figure it out.
Yeah, but I swear, technical difficulties over, it looks like, and he may have jinxed himself. But while we're saying that, we'll end on that note. Y'all have a good one. Help someone, and y'all have a great weekend.